of the surrounds here, like just geographically, Westport is northwest there, you've Castlebar this direction, you've Ballinrobe here, Loch Mask directly south, and you kind of Loch Cara over that direction as well. You have the Partry Mountains, Tourmakeady, Leenane, all that way back there, yeah. I have 72 acres here, a lot of it is planted hardwood forestry, yeah. There's lands back there, quailch owned, but it doesn't even warrant speaking about, so I'm not going to mention it. So I'm not, you know where my loyalty stand there, yeah. But yeah, so it's very diverse kind of farmland. Like I say, I've mature woodlands up there with a lot of oak trees, and that was an integral part of why the furnace was located here as well, yeah. I've new forestry, you can see a mixture of some spruce, larch, rowan, and different things there as well. And then further on the way out as well, I have a lot of hardwoods and that as well. But I do some kind of farm walks, knowledge transfer groups, if you ever heard of them, about people wanting to do forestry and stuff. So they come from different organisations and that, and just share kind of knowledge on forestry and all attached to it. And people that want to get into forestry, because it is the buzzword now really, forestry and farming, and it is the way to go, and to change the old mindset is the thing, because like your average age of farmers in the west of Ireland like is in around the 60 years of age, you know, and fewer younger people are coming into farming. So to kind of change that mindset of the older farmers and the newer generation coming up, that'd be more open to change and try and sell it to them, because it is a huge benefit both financially and environmentally to everyone, and the financial aspects are quite lucrative as well, especially for land like this, because I used to farm a lot of cattle, but I was never gone on the concept of slatted sheds and all that. It was just too unhealthy for cattle and stuff like that, and then polluting all the environment as well, you know. But it was old traditional type farming I used to do here. As you can tell by the accent, and some may know my history, but I moved down from Dublin in 1982 after I finished the Leaving Cert. This was my mother's home place, so I done the opposite to her. I moved down from Dublin when I was 19. She moved up to Dublin when she was 18, yeah. And but a lot of my summer holidays were spent coming down working on the land, the dreaded bog and the hay and the turf and all that, everything that's connected with it, yeah.
Were her parents still here at that time, yeah?
They weren't when I moved down, but her sister and brother were here.
Okay.
And there was an old cottage down there we used to live in and that. And when I moved down in 1982, which isn't an awful long time ago, but there was no water or electricity in the house, so I came down from Dublin into a cottage like that, yeah. And it was a great way of life, yeah. So it was, you had your paraffin lamp and you cooked on the fire, and there was a gas cooker with 2 rings, and that was it. Very simple requirements, but very self-sufficient and that as well, you know, because my aunt, God bless her, used to make lovely brown bread on the fire, and you could smell the turf nearly off the bread and stuff like that, you know. And all our own vegetables were grown here, like potatoes, carrots, cabbage, everything like that was done and that. But it wasn't in my time, but they used to have their own pigs and hens and stuff like that. And then in latter years I got pigs myself, but that nearly led to divorce proceedings. When the pigs went out on the road, and then they went down to a neighbour's garden, and within 5 minutes they had all the vegetables and everything eaten, and that caused a few issues. But at the end of the day, they tasted lovely.
You could taste the veggies.
Oh, you could, yeah, organic vegetables, nourished, nothing better fed on, yeah. But they were lovely animals, and that's another area I'm trying to get it, because I work as a social care worker, and I work with adults with autism and stuff like that. So animal therapy and something like that is kind of, and the land, because I always say my mantra is the land is a healer, and that no matter what you do on the land, if you're just walking, it clears your head. But working with animals and stuff like that, so that's something I'm trying to develop here now the last year or so.
The concept of forest bathing, you know.
And that, yeah, everything like that, and even call me a tree hugger or whatever, you know. But it is good to kind of just go up and share your thoughts with a tree. Even it sounds a bit wacky, but if it works, it works, you know. And that's so.
Is there much wildlife in there?
Sorry?
Is there much wildlife in the wood?
Oh, there is, yeah.
What have we got?
And I don't know if you guys ever listen to Lyric FM. There's a wildlife feature with Anya. Not Anya, no. Anya is another girl.
Yes, she
Yeah,
is,
yeah. I can't think of her surname. I have a book written by her as well.
Yeah, I can't.
But
think of
it was
either.
on there last Sunday about the jay, the forest screecher, and very little was known about the jay until recently. But they say like primates and that are the next to kind of humans in relation to intelligence. But we're realising now that birds and the jay is super intelligent. Like-
jays around here?
oh yeah, quite a lot.
Brilliant, yeah.
They're very kind of obscure kind of animal or birds, you know, and that are very hard to hear, and that. But you do get them more early morning or late evening and that. But
Anya Murray.
Murray, thank you. Yeah, Anya Murray and that. And if you ever get a chance to listen to the podcast on Lyric in relation to the jays, it's well worth listening to and that, because their memory is phenomenal. Like they're your really kind of your wildlife harvester, because they can gather up to 1,000 acorns in a year and plant them around, but they've such good memory they can remember specifically where they put each acorn and come back to it. And if they think there's a predator, let's say for example a squirrel coming to it, they frighten it away, and then they take that hazelnut and hide it in a different place so the squirrel won't come back to the same place to get it. You know, so they're kind of an underestimated bird really, and that's the jay, exactly, yeah. They're lovely curl for birds when they, yeah.
I've never seen it bluey.
Yeah. That's why they call them the woodland screecher. It is kind of a screech, but it can mimic, and on that recording as well, you'll hear them actually barking like a dog. If a dog comes into their territory, they'll mimic the dog to warn the other jays as well, yeah. So all that, like, I find all that incredible stuff, really, yeah.
What other stuff is in the wood?
You'd have, the red squirrel is coming back
Are they
as
back?
well, which is great.
Oh, that's great.
Again,
yeah.
very hard to photograph or I kind of pin down as well, like, you know. And then evening or morning I've gone up there, you get them again very early in the morning or very late at night, you know.
That's
but they
great,
move
yeah.
so fast and that. But
And would you think there's many in it?
I spotted two in two different places because they'd be kind of territorial as well, so they wouldn't go. And that, and the grey squirrel is kind of being hunted out,
Preserved,
thank
yeah.
God, you know, because
Pine martins,
pine martins, rare enough, yeah, you'd see them a bit. And when we used to have hens, my youngest daughter, God bless her, got hens with her confirmation money. She had them about 6 months, and then overnight it was just carnage.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they just kill everything and suck the blood out of them and that as well. But what we have up there, because the Clune River is along there as well, which goes into Loch Mask, you'd have the water dog, as we call it, like the freshwater water, and that. Again, they're very obscure as well. But I recently purchased an activation kind of camera that you'd mount on a tree or something, so when something goes by. So I'd hope to have footage of these different things now, like this season, because kind of late summer, early autumn is when you'd get best
I was wondering, have you many deer? Have you?
bloody deers again.
Too many.
No more than Quilch. I won't mention the deers. Yeah, they are. But
And increasing.
the last few years I haven't seen as many, thank God. Yeah.
Okay.
And but I have people coming in, but you have to have a Section 38 license to shoot them,
Yeah.
and it's a special shotgun, and you have to be, and it's right, it's policed very well, you know. But we do get lovely venison burgers and stuff like that. So we do, but it is a very healthy meat, and it doesn't go to waste, which is a good thing as well. When you're culling something like that it's just not all dumped or anything like that. It is, and it's an acquired taste really. It's very wild taste. So a lot.
Like 70 acres.
72 acres in
72
total.
acres. And the deer, would that be big enough? Could the deer hide? I mean, do they range beyond the 70
Oh, they're all over the
They
place.
do. They come down from the shores of Loch Mask, and like, they're very hard to contain or keep out because they're such good jumpers. Like they could jump like the small river down there. They jumped out without any bother at all.
You see them around Ballin Rope.
Yeah. Well, they would have come down from Crea, if you know Crea Gates, and kind of the back of the race
They're
course
pretty
there.
much everywhere, to be honest, dear.
They are really, yeah, and they're getting so brazen now because I keep a few cattle as well, and I would have calf feed like crunch out in the shed. And one night the out backlight came on, it's motion activated, and I thought the calves had broke out or cattle had broken out, but it was actually the deer had got into the shed and they were eating out of the bags. Clever enough, yeah. They are really, yeah.
Did they do a lot of damage? You were saying the pine bark killed all the chickens.
Yeah, they would have, yeah. There would be mink as well, yeah. And speaking of cattle, they're after getting out, sorry. Did you hold that? Just throw them out a bit. Oh no, don't get me wrong, they'd be wary of strangers, I'll just drive them back in the field,
They're
sorry.
easy enough to stand behind the gate and go,
Yeah,
"Oh,
when
what's
you
in
want to
here?"
come down this way in a few minutes.
In case you get cold here, you can just.
They did the earth pointer, by the way. So it is, yeah. This is the map here, yeah. This is the house just where you park the car, yeah. And then we came up onto the hill here as well. The furnace is located here. This is the main Partry Westport Road, yeah. So it is, and you have a number of lakes. This is the Clune River. It flows down that way into Loch Mask, which is this way here, yeah. This is some of the lands, as you can read from there, like new lands that I planted originally. This is the native woodlands, and that's up there. Like we've a lot of very old oaks, and that'll be like a good few 100 years old, and that as well. So in time now there is a method of do kind of a DNA on trees and see how far back they go as well, you know. And now there are three, maybe four specific reasons why the furnace, as you see it here, was located here, yeah. One of the primary reasons was the iron ore. It's a bit of a grey area as yet. I was always told it came from Shra, which is just back the way there as well, and it was mined out of the hill. But people, again, as I said earlier, people coming, and I had a guy who does the furnace festivals, and he said it could be actually bog ore. So I'm trying to get a ground survey done as well to see. It takes an X-ray of the ground, the bog, and we could see if there's traces of iron ore in the bog, because the bog ore is quite rich and quite productive, because there'll be very little waste once you smelt it down. You've quite a lot of pig iron comes out of it, yeah. And that was one of the main reasons it was built here as well, yeah. But then you had the oak woods, they're a war, and so it took vast quantities of oak to make charcoal. So it was charcoal and turf that would have fueled the furnace and that as well. And that the maths on it really is to make 1 ton of charcoal, you need 6 tons of oak, and to make 1 ton of this pig iron, you need 7 tons of charcoal. So if you do the maths, like it's 42 tons of oak to make just 1 ton of that, yeah. You know, and that's a phenomenal amount of timber. So it is really, like I say, the quality is it is top quality in that as well, yeah. So then the other element why it's built specifically here is there's like a sandstone vein coming down, kind of just the other side of Killawalla down here. It might be only maybe 2 kilometres, 3 kilometres wide, because when you go up to Partry village or just across the river there, it's all limestone. If this furnace was built of limestone, it would be in dust after a few smelts, because limestone is like kind of fossil based stone, so it wouldn't be as resistant to the heat as whereas sandstone, like it's just very tight grains of sand and it's more resistant, because you're talking of temperatures of in the region of 2000 degrees Celsius. Like when you think of your conventional oven is 200 degrees, so it's 10 times the heat of that to extract the pig iron there as well. And like this is a lot of remnants of stuff that came out as well. If you want to try and lift that, 2 hands. Yeah. Just mind your feet. You know that is top quality, yeah. So it is.
And it was used for?
What? That was brought. That's a draw straight. So it would have been brought over to the Black Country, which is the industrial heartland of England,
Okay.
and again the other specific reason for it as well being built here is you have the Clune River just down the end of this field. You can't see it now because of all the new forestry, but it would have been put on a barge-like structure, brought down onto Loch Mask and across. But that time near Cong, the canal never really worked as such, and so it would have been brought on land onto the Corrib, then up into Galway Harbour, where it was shipped over to near kind of Wolverhampton, Dudley, all that area, and it's specifically mentioned there in this book here. And to go back to this book, like in 1982, well, I kind of went to the late 80s, there wasn't much in the west of Ireland, as a lot of you remember, and there wasn't much work and stuff like that. My father, God bless him, always told me, he said, once you can get up in the morning, you'll always get work, never go in the dole. So that belief was put into my mind, never go in the dole and that. So, like I say, I went over to England for 2 or 3 years. I came back, and when I came back, unfortunately my uncle got sick, and he passed away about 3 months after I came back. So I inherited the land from him, so started doing different things with it, and I was always kind of interested in the foreigners here and that. But then I tried to get more information. So this was obviously pre-internet, pre-mobile phones, all that area, you know. So I spoke to a good friend of mine, David Roberts, over there in Partry, and he is a lecturer up in IT in Sligo. And he said there's a guy down in UCC in Cork, Colin Rinn. He's an industrial archaeologist, very specific to this area, you know. So I rang him up and I said, hi Colin, I've an iron smelting furnace down here in Mayo. And he said to me, no, you've got a lime kiln. I was very offended. Yeah, it does. Yeah, to a degree, a very big lime kiln though. They wouldn't have been quite that big. And I said, sorry Colin, no, I'm 99% sure it's an iron smelting furnace. He was in the process of writing this book here,